Okay, in the previous class we discussed about steroids and sterols. Before starting that, yeah, good afternoon to you as well. What can you tell me about lipids? What are the classification of lipids? Just simple classification. You don't need to get into details of each and every type of class. What are the overall types of lipids? Hmm. भूल गया बोले तो परेशानी ना. I told you lipids are of three types. There are simple lipids, compound lipids, and derived lipids. So I told you you need to study. नहीं तो मुश्किल होती है आप लोगों को आगे की क्लास में. If you haven't studied, then there's no point in conducting the classes. Okay, do you remember anything from the previous class at least? What are sterols and steroids? I told you about cholesterol. What is cholesterol? Why is it important? Simple are of two types. Okay. What can you tell me about cholesterol? Oh dear. ये हाल रहा बोले तो परेशानी ना. Okay. Today we'll be studying about prostaglandins. See, if you're not having doubts at the end of the class, if you're not asking doubts, I'll assume that you're not having any doubts. Until unless you ask, I will not know. मैं कोई अंतर्यामी नहीं हूँ मेरे को पता चलने के लिए कि आपको डाउट्स है बोल के. So if you're not having doubts, the only problematic area will be you, in the sense that you're not reading or you're not memorizing. तो उसके अलावा तो if you're not understanding, there I can help you. Memorization no one can do for you. You'll have to do it for yourself. Okay, now coming to prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are molecules that are, ये लोग पीजीज भी बोलते हैं, ठीक है. There are several different types of prostaglandins. You generally have a 20 carbon fatty acid that is secreted from almost all cells in the human body except RBC. RBC does not have the capability of secreting prostaglandins. Every other cell in the human body has the capability of producing prostaglandins. Now, originally, when they were found, it was thought that these prostaglandins are coming from the prostate gland. Later on, it was found that all nucleated cells except your all cells except your RBC have the capability of forming prostaglandins. But initially, because it was thought that they are originating from prostate gland, hence the name came named prostaglandin. Okay, these will promote. They have several functions. One of the most important functions is that they promote contraction of the intestine and uterine muscles. Promote contraction. One second. Contraction of uterus. They'll also help in contraction of intestine plus lower BPs, decreases blood pressure. Okay. Prostaglandins will differ in their structure due to a substituent group. There are different types of prostaglandins, as I told you, and the difference will essentially come in the substituent group that is attached to it and the double bond, the placement of double bond. Prostaglandins are made from one specific structure called arachidonic acid. इससे पहले की class में I told you what is arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid in the presence of an enzyme called cyclooxygenase. will form prostaglandins. ठीक है, depending on what is acting on arachidonic acid, you can either get prostaglandins or you can get leukotrienes. If the enzyme cyclooxygenase, which is also called COX, you have two different forms of that enzyme. You can have COX-1 and COX-2. Okay, the enzyme itself, let's suppose COX-1 and COX-2 will do the same function. They are cousins. Okay, cyclooxygenase, whenever it acts upon arachidonic acid, it will result in the formation of prostaglandin molecules. That is how prostaglandin come into picture. Okay, and the synthesis essentially will involve two processes. First, there will be cyclization, and finally, there will be oxidation of the molecule. In the end, you will end up getting prostaglandins. Now, if you see prostaglandin, the main functions, as I told you, it lowers BP. So they are specific prostaglandins that are responsible for lowering BP or regulating blood pressure. They are prostaglandin E1, PGE1 बोलते हैं उसको, prostaglandin A, PGA, and prostaglandin I2. These three are very important in regulating blood pressure because these three are natural vasodilators. Vasodilator is any substance that will dilate your blood vessel. Okay, whenever your blood vessel is dilating, what will happen is your blood pressure will fall. Think of it this way. Imagine you have a pipe with water. Now obviously आप लोग अपने घर में one point or the other you will use a pipe, right, which let's suppose has water, and there is a particular pressure with which that water is flowing. All right, if you imagine pinching that pipe, let's suppose water is flowing and you pinch that pipe, what will happen to the pressure of water that is coming out of the pipe? Let us suppose there is some flow of water. Let us suppose the velocity with which water is coming out is v1. Okay, the pressure of water inside the pipe is p1, and the velocity with which it is coming out is v1. Okay, let us suppose you are pinching that pipe at this point. So that pipe is essentially looking like this. Let's suppose you are pinching here. Okay, with your fingers you are pinching here. What will be the speed of water that is coming out of here? Think and answer. अगर मेरे पास एक पाइप है जिसमें पानी बह रहा, मैं वो जो पाइप है जिसमें पानी बह रहा उसको मैं पिंच कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है, what will happen to the water flow? What will happen to the speed of water on this is literally a
Increase.
mm-hmm.
Sir, flow
Punch it
on the slowly.
Acha, the two options, will the speed increase or will the speed decrease?
decreases, sir.
Decreases.
Increase maybe. Increase. If we
देखो, अच्छा, think of it this way. आप लोग कॉलेज को आए ना, most of you, अच्छा ठीक है, have you all ever watered plants using a pipe? Like आप कभी पौधों में पानी डाले?
yes, sir.
डाले ना? Okay. Let's suppose there is a plant which is very far away. What will you do if you pinch this thing? Won't the water go far away? अगर आप
Yes,
पाइप को
sir.
पिंच करें तो ज्यादा दूर जाता ना. It is going farther away because the velocity of that water is increasing. यहाँ पर the concept I'm trying to tell you is that think of this pipe as your blood vessel. ठीक है? What is happening here is if the size of that blood vessel decreases, so essentially let us suppose this is the initial size, this is the diameter of the pipe. I am making the diameter of the pipe this much. What will happen to blood pressure in this scenario? It should increase, right? Because velocity is increasing, pressure on that blood vessel will also increase. अगर आप पानी के पाइप को दबाए, you'll be able to feel the water that is flowing inside the pipe with more pressure. Greater velocity and more pressure will be applied on your fingers as well. अगर आप finger छोड़ते ही वो pipe will assume its normal shape back because pressure is being applied on the walls of that pipe. The same thing happens in your blood vessels. Whenever your blood vessels contract, BP will increase. Conversely, whenever your blood vessels dilate, they will increase in size. Let's suppose इतना बड़े हो जा रहे, from original size ये एक कम हो रहा, and from original size this fellow is increasing again. यहाँ पर देखो वेसल साइज छोटा हो रहा, यहाँ पर वेसल साइज बड़ा हो रहा, तो व्हाट विल हैपन टू ब्लड प्रेशर हियर? लेट्स सपोज दिस इज सिनेरियो 1, सिनेरियो 2 एंड सिनेरियो 3. What will happen to the blood pressure in scenario 3? अगर मैं blood vessel को मोटा कर दिया, मोटा in the sense not thick, मोटा in the sense I'm dilating that blood vessel, what will happen to the blood pressure? अगर मैं छोटा करा तो blood pressure बढ़ रहा, तो बड़ा करा तो क्या होना?
Decrease.
So vasodilators are any substances that will decrease your blood pressure. यहाँ पर they are decreasing blood pressure by increasing the circumference of your blood vessels, whether it is artery or the vein. It is essentially causing the relaxation of. अच्छा, आप लोगों को blood vessels, blood के बारे में पढ़ा है क्या अब तक? The longitudinal and circular muscles that are present inside blood vessels, layers of blood vessels and all of that.
No, sir.
नहीं पढ़ा है, अच्छा ठीक है, ठीक है, नहीं पढ़ा है, कोई बात नहीं. यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है, एसेंशली दोज ब्लड वेसल्स आर रिलैक्सिंग, ठीक है, and because of that relaxation is brought about by these prostaglandin E1, prostaglandin A and prostaglandin I2. Whenever your body is sensing, there will be something called baroreceptors. Baroreceptors are present inside your blood vessels. These are special receptors that will measure the pressure of blood, ठीक है. Their sole purpose is to measure the pressure with which blood is flowing. नॉर्मल बीपी कितना रहता पेशेंट का? व्हाट इज नॉर्मल ब्लड प्रेशर?
120/80, sir.
अच्छा, 120/80 क्या?
mm.
हाँ, नॉट
mm
सेंटीमीटर.
of Hg, sir.
हाँ, वो पूरा बोलना पड़ता बेटा. अगर 120/80 सेंटीमीटर्स लिख दिया तो मैं वहां पर परेशानी हो जाती, ठीक है. 120/80 mm है. नाउ this is the normal pressure. Let us suppose your body is sensing, ये blood vessel है, there are small receptors present like this. Let us suppose because of whatever reason, stress, or maybe the patient has taken some drug or some reason wherein blood pressure is spiking and it is reaching 160/90, let us suppose. This is stimulating these receptors, ठीक है. ये baroreceptors जो है, इन लोगों को baroreceptor बोलते हैं. These baroreceptors, which are measuring the pressure of blood, they will send a signal to brain telling, देखो देखो आपका blood pressure बहुत बड़ा हो जा रहा, बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जा रहा, do something. Brain will in turn stimulate the production of prostaglandins. As a result, what will happen? There will be several mechanisms. Sometime later, I'll explain what are the different mechanisms. But one mechanism is that locally, what will happen is these cells, जो innermost cells है आपके blood vessel के, ये जो अंदर का epithelium है ना, these cells will start to secrete prostaglandins. As these cells and surrounding cells start secreting prostaglandins, your blood vessel itself will start dilating. So what will happen is जो original shape ये था बढ़ जाता, ठीक है. Let us suppose a blood vessel इतने size का हो गया. As a result, what will happen is blood pressure will fall. That is one important function of your prostaglandins. Second, it will take part in inflammation, specifically PGE1 and PGE2. They will induce the symptoms of inflammation. Inflammation is essentially a process of your body in which it is trying to remove any foreign agent that comes into your body. For example, let us suppose there is a bacteria entering into your body, okay? One single bacteria is entering into your body, and that bacteria is reaching some cell into your body and causing damage. Immediately the process of inflammation is triggered, and the reason why inflammation is triggered is, first of all, to kill that bacteria. Second is to heal that cell. Okay, those are the two reasons why inflammation occurs. First is to kill or remove any foreign object or any foreign substance that has entered into your body. Second is to rectify any damage that the foreign foreign substance or foreign microorganism has caused inside your body. Prostaglandins are mediators of inflammation, ठीक है. इन लोगों को mediators of inflammation भी बोलते हैं. See, inflammation itself is a cascade process. Cascade process का मतलब क्या है? One cell will stimulate another cell, which will stimulate another cell, and this will stimulate another cell. I'll give you an example. Let us suppose uh, आप लोग, let's suppose all of you are in hostel. Example, let us suppose all of you are in hostel. मैं ground floor पे हूँ. I, let's suppose I call out Anjali or I call out Rabia, some person, and I tell them go and call let's suppose Zualte, or look, go and call some person, or go and call one of your seniors. अब समझो what you call, I told it to Anjali. Anjali is going and telling it to Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari is going and telling it to Niharika. She is going and telling it to Pratima. Pratima is going and telling it to Rabia. And finally Rabia is going and telling that senior. तो essentially यहाँ पर एक chain create हो रही मैसेज की. ठीक है, एक बंदा दूसरे को अलर्ट कर रहा, दूसरा बंदा तीसरे को कर रहा, तीसरा बंदा चौथे को कर रहा. मीडिएटर्स ऑफ इन्फ्लेमेशन वही करते. मीडिएटर्स ऑफ इन्फ्लेमेशन का काम यह है दैट दे विल मीडिएट इन्फ्लेमेशन. यहाँ पर इन्फ्लेमेशन कैसा हो रहा, एक सेल है, let us suppose there is this original cell. This cell is coming in under attack from a bacteria. Let us suppose this black dot represents a bacteria. What this fellow will do is it will start secreting certain chemicals. One such chemical will be prostaglandin. These chemicals will go and they will start stimulating other cells. ठीक है, and these cells will in turn stimulate more cells. So in ये बात फैलती जाती कि ये देखो, let us suppose ये सेल का नाम रामू है, एग्जाम्पल. ठीक है, let us suppose that cell's name is Ramu. अरे Ramu is under attack with by some bacteria, we need to go and help them. Call the immune system of your body बोल के you know क्या करते हैं, Ramu is calling Shamu, Shamu is calling Prasad. Let's suppose example, okay. There's no cell in your body named Ramu, Shamu and Prasad. Okay, don't go and write in your exam sheet there is Ramu and that fellow will call Shamu. Okay. Now anyway, uh, what happens is essentially a cascade is created where one cell is triggering another cell, and essentially it will cause more and more production of such mediators of inflammation. Here prostaglandin is only one mediator of inflammation. There are several different types of mediators of inflammation which you'll study in next year in pathology, but it plays a very important role in any inflammatory reaction. Immediately अगर inflammatory reaction होना है तो prostaglandin plays a very important role. Then comes its reproductory function. तो अब तक क्या क्या functions कर रही है? It will regulate blood pressure and it will mitigate the symptoms of inflammation. It will act as a mediator of inflammation and it will cause vasodilation as well. Then third is reproduction. Now your PGE2 and PGF2, prostaglandin E2 and prostaglandin E2, can medically terminate pregnancy. Let us suppose there is a mother who wants to get an abortion, example. ठीक है, तो उनके अंदर प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन E2 प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन F2 की इंजेक्शन अगर दिए आप, so that pregnancy will be terminated. Now again there is a time and place where you can use it. You cannot use it after a particular trimester. You generally cannot use it in the second trimester or third trimester. जितना अर्ली करे, जितना अर्ली डिस्कार्ड करे अगर आप टर्मिनेट कर रहे प्रेगनेंसी को, तो उतना बेटर रहता मदर की हेल्थ के लिए. जितना ज़्यादा लेट करते गए, लेट्स सपोज यू आर टर्मिनेटिंग द प्रेगनेंसी समवेयर इन द 6th and 7th month, at that point there is a huge risk to the mother that she can die. ठीक है, what you are doing by terminating pregnancy is you are inducing labor. Labor and parturition, the process of birth or the process of birth that occurs at an abnormal time, will lead to abortion. That can be caused by prostaglandin E2. Now conversely, you can use it to your own advantage as well. For example, let us suppose there is a lady who is already in labor, ठीक है, full term में है, as in 9 months pregnant है, and they are going to a hospital to get to deliver their baby. ठीक है, let us suppose the baby is not able to come out properly and there are a few complications. Your what do you call, the vagina has not completely expanded, or essentially uterus has not relaxed, several complications हो रहे हैं, let's suppose थोड़े. So what you can do is at that time your body naturally will start producing prostaglandin, but you can also give prostaglandin injection. The point is that at that point the patient is already in the delivery room, so you are like literally trying to get the baby out. At that point, if you give the injection of prostaglandin, it will not be harmful, in the sense that you are trying to get the baby delivered. So in that point, at that point, it is actually helpful. But if you give it at any other point, it will cause abortion. Okay? Prostaglandins will essentially cause, they will induce motility in the uterus. Uterus के जो muscles रहते हैं, they will start moving more vigorously, and in under the effect of prostaglandins. And as a result, what will happen is the fetus will be expelled out. Within a few hours, the fetus will be pushed out. Okay? Uh, Other than that, prostaglandins have an effect in facilitating fertilization of ovum as well. Specifically, they will help in uterine and cervical movements. Ovum के movement जो अंदर होता, before fertilization itself, it will help in that. And it is also helping movement of sperms. Spermatozoa जो रहता, it needs to penetrate through the vagina, and it needs to reach the cervix. From the cervix, it needs to reach your uterus. Uterus से generally fallopian tubules में this thing क्या बोलते, fertilization होता, wherein zygote is formed. And that zygote will, again, I'm not sure whether you have been taught about reproduction or not yet, but essentially क्या होता, once insemination has occurred after coitus, what is happening is sperm is entering into the vagina. From vagina, it is entering into the cervix, and finally it will enter the uterus. And uterus site is entering fallopian tubules. Fallopian tubes may, the ovum will, the ovum will encounter your sperm, and that is when fertilization is occurring. Zygote is being formed, and that zygote comes out into the uterus, and it will get implanted. That zygote will essentially become a fetus after a few months. Okay? Now, in the movement of sperm, you need prostaglandins. Specifically, prostaglandins will be present in seminal fluid. Seminal fluid of men, if it does not have enough amount of prostaglandins, it can lead to infertility. That male will not be fertile enough if their seminal fluid does not have enough amount of prostaglandins. Okay, so that is those are the reproductory functions of prostaglandins. Then other functions of prostaglandin include, they will stimulate CAMP formation, cyclic AMP formation, which is causing movement of muscles and other stimulus of cells as well. It is responsible for steroid hormone production, catecholamine production. Catecholamines are essentially noradrenaline, adrenaline, and dopamine. आपकी जो adrenal medulla में रहता ना, adrenal gland के अंदर adrenal medulla रहता, ये adrenal medulla is responsible for the production of catecholamines. ये catecholamines will be produced under the stimulus of prostaglandins. अगर prostaglandin का stimulus नहीं मिला adrenal medulla को, it will not be able to produce catecholamines. They are helpful in production of steroid hormones like progesterone, estrogen, and all. Prostaglandins play a role in increasing glycogen formation. So glycogenesis में help करते हैं prostaglandins. They will increase urinary volume. They will increase excretion of sodium, potassium, and chloride out of your body. Then there are two very special type of prostaglandins called PGE2, and there is another molecule called TXA2. This is also called thromboxane. Thromboxane A2 बोलते हैं इसको, TXA2 को. Both of these promote platelet aggregation. Platelet aggregation is a process in clotting. Whenever there is a blood vessel that has ruptured, what will happen is, let us suppose you have a blood vessel like this, and at this point there is rupture. यहाँ से blood flow हो रहा, ठीक है. तो यहाँ पर क्या होता, आपके platelets आते, your this thing, what do you call, thrombocytes. Let us suppose these green color dots represent your thrombocytes. So clotting itself is a very complex process. It's a big process. I'll not explain that. But essentially what is happening is, in the presence of prostaglandin E2 and thromboxane, these platelets will be able to clump together. They'll be able to come together. And what will happen is, essentially they will end up making a clot. And that clot will block this hemorrhage. It will block that blood which is getting oozed out. Essentially, it will block the damage to that artery or to that vein. It will not let hemorrhage occur anymore, and it will essentially save your blood. it will make sure that blood is staying inside your blood vessel and not, going out. So TXA2 and PGE2 both are responsible for thrombosis, formation of thrombus. देखिए ये clot को thrombus बोलते हैं. Then respiratory function as well. Prostaglandins have a respiratory function too. On your respiratory function, specifically prostaglandin E, all different types of prostaglandin E, prostaglandin E1 and E2 specifically, these are bronchodilators. अच्छा, bronchodilators, अच्छा आप लोगों को bronchi क्या है मालूम है? Before I explain what is a bronchodilator, do you know what is a bronchi? अच्छा आपके lungs के
Situated
अंदर,
in lungs, sir.
it will be present in lungs. Okay, what is the function of bronchi? अच्छा, let me put it this way. What does it do with respect to alveolus या alveolar sac? Bronchi का काम क्या है? They are present in lungs, no doubt. What do they do?
Pathway into the lungs.
Excuse me, can you repeat that? You were telling something about pathway. The only word I was able to hear is pathway.
Passageway.
Passageway. Okay. They act as passageways into the lungs. So essentially, they are pipes that are present in your lungs. They will facilitate the movement of gases in and around your lungs. Okay. So essentially, your alveolus, your bronchi, all of them are helping in the process of respiration. Once you breathe in through your bronchi, the gases are essentially reaching your alveolus, where they are, oxygen is used up to oxygenate your deoxygenated blood, and carbon dioxide is thrown back into your bronchi so that it can be exhaled out. Now, bronchi, just like blood vessel, just a blood vessel is facilitating the movement of blood, bronchi are facilitating the movement of air. In certain scenarios, bronchi will get blocked. Okay, even if they are not getting blocked, let us suppose you dilate your bronchi. Let's suppose your bronchi are normal in size and you dilate your bronchi. What will happen to your oxygen carrying capacity? Increases or decreases? Let us suppose your bronchi are dilating. What will happen to your oxygen carrying capacity? Acha, let me put it this way. Bronchodilators are used in asthma patients. Have you all ever seen asthma patients?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, asthma patients में problem क्या रहता?
Sir, they cannot take proper respiration.
Breathing problem, sir.
They are not able to breathe properly. Yes. So if I give a bronchodilator, I'll be able to mitigate the effect of asthma. अब बोला bronchodilator करता क्या? हो रहा क्या उससे? Vasodilator blood vessel कुछ बड़ा कर रहा ना, तो bronchodilator क्या करना? अच्छा, what do you understand by the term dilation or dilator? अगर vasodilator समझ में आया बोले तो bronchodilator should be fairly easy. What does the term dilation mean? It is the same as blood vessel, just imagine that happening in bronchi. ठीक है, वहां पर in blood vessel you have PGE1, PGA and PGI2 dilating blood vessels, right? यहाँ पर PGE1 and PGE2 are responsible for dilation of bronchi. They will go and attach to certain receptors because of which bronchi will dilate. Asthma mein the problem is the patient will have a lot of mucus being accumulated inside their lungs, specifically in their bronchi and in their alveoli. Because of which, let us suppose ये आपका bronchi है and इसके अंदर, let's suppose we are talking about an asthmatic patient, mucus and a lot of debris starts getting accumulated. What is happening here to the passageway of air? Can air pass freely in this scenario? If I'm blocking the
Hardly.
it will not be able to pass. Yes. So what I can do is, let us suppose इतना है ना, अब आपका जो circumference है bronchi का इतना है. What I will do is I will simply increase the size of the bronchi. The amount of mucus is the same. It is just that I'm creating more space for air to go or air to pass through. तो वो mucus रहा भी तो, the debris, even if it is present, you will be able to breathe properly, or that asthma patient will be able to breathe properly. That is what bronchodilators do. ठीक है. PGE1 and PGE2 can be used for the treatment of asthma. You can give drugs of PGE1 and PGE2 जो inhalers रहते हैं ना, या oral भी दे सकते हैं आप, but inhalers में भी देते हैं. ठीक है. The patient, once they inhale a PGE1 and PGE2, their bronchi will essentially dilate, and if the patient is having an asthmatic attack, if they're coughing incessantly, that cough will be regulated and mitigated. Another thing is that PGE2 is responsible for regulating body temperature. Prostaglandin E2 affects hypothalamus. And whenever you have stimulation from prostaglandin E2 on hypothalamus, it will cause fever. Achha, what is hypothalamus? First of all, before asking what is hypothalamus, have you all covered neuroanatomy? Neuro, like brain and spinal cord के बारे में पढ़े आप लोग? Achha, I'll give just to you as a homework. What is hypothalamus? Find out what are the functions of hypothalamus. What is the relationship with pituitary
Brain,
gland?
sir.
It is part of the brain. Yes. What is its function?
Sir, is a function.
Transfer the messenger molecules, sir.
Two.
Release hormones from pituitary glands.
Yeah, you are
Mind,
actually very
sir,
close.
to the body to mind.
Body to mind. अच्छा, आप लोगों को हाइपोथैलेमस पिट्यूटरी एक्सेस के बारे में कभी पढ़ा है? So essentially what happens is there is a connection between hypothalamus and pituitary in the form of infundibulum. एक छोटा पाइप जैसा रहता, छोटा स्टिक रहता है essentially. What hypothalamus does is whenever it is getting a certain stimulus, for example BP कम हुआ, BP बढ़ा, body temperature कम हुआ, body temperature बढ़ा, various autonomic stimuli that hypothalamus gets from its from the body, depending on that stimulus, hypothalamus will secrete specific enzymes. As a result, what will happen is those enzymes will go and stimulate your pituitary gland. Pituitary gland in turn will secrete another different set of enzymes, and those enzymes will go to your endocrine glands such as your thyroid, pancreas, adrenal glands, so on and so forth, because of which those glands will be stimulated and those glands will produce specific chemicals. Okay, so hypothalamus in turn is in a way controlling your pituitary. Hypothalamus is under the control of your brain, specifically under the control of the commands that brain gets, stimuli that brain gets. For example, अगर BP कम हो गया तो brain को पता चल रहा कि BP कम हो गया, hypothalamus को stimulate करता या to perform its function and increase blood pressure, या फिर for example अगर body temperature कम हो गया, body temperature कम करने के लिए, body temperature बढ़ाने के लिए prostaglandin से आ रहा stimulus. Prostaglandins will stimulate hypothalamus and they will in turn stimulate your pituitary, because of which body temperature goes up. Specifically, when there is an infection, hypothalamus is stimulated by prostaglandin E2. If you ever encounter an infection, one of the most common signs of infection and one of the first signs of infection will be fever. Almost all infections will present with fever. ठीक है, पेशेंट को immediately fever होने लगता. That fever happens from prostaglandin E2. Fever is a way of your body telling you there is something wrong. ठीक है. Other than that, prostaglandin E2 along with histamines and bradykinin is also responsible for pain. Whenever there is an injury, pain occurs, right? That pain is occurring because of stimulus from prostaglandin E2. It will also decrease immune function, specifically from B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. So those are all the functions of prostaglandins. We'll discuss about digestion and absorption of lipids in the next class. Make sure that you study for tomorrow.